Okay, so hey, this is Mary here from the Human Rights Art Project. So basically, my granddad painted all this junk, and we don't know what to do with it. My brother's setting up an e-commerce store and very laboriously digitizing everything. But I thought, well, he threw this really good art show where he did some kind of contemporary informal framing of them. And then I was like, well, why don't we just auction this all off for WikiLeaks, obviously. And the thing about art, which me loving art and I used to study it and make it and stuff, is that it doesn't really matter the quality. It's more about the state of mind that it puts you in. It puts you in a creative experience. And then what I was thinking about lawyers is often they might have a nice car and a nice house, but what they don't have in the world is justice. And so that's where things like the imprisonment of Bradley Manning, when I look at that, I kind of think of Bradley Manning because this is the Chesapeake Bay outside where my grandfather had his CIA job, and this is obviously a self-portrait. If you knew he's a very sort of like lanky Norwegian farmer type guy from Minnesota, and that's Ransom Eng. So basically, I was thinking, well, I met David Bernstein from Rocket Cargoes. He deals with massive art shipping. So basically, he could probably help me with the logistics of how do we get this to auction. And then the whole thing about auction is just really ridiculous. My friend Evander Reeves' father in Paris is an art lawyer, and Evander said, oh, well, you're not from a good family. And I'm like, well, what's a good family in America? Like, Grandpa was an advisor for Johnson, and he got chased out by Nixon, and he got a pension that was sizable enough to give to Enron. So that, for instance, that's lovely, and that's his death. I have got to really digitize that because I've sort of set it out who's getting what. And actually, I was thinking that one goes to Keith Fink in America for standing up for free speech. I feel like that one goes to Bradley Manning for going in the darkness. And then that one my brother did, Michael. And I love that one because it reminds me of Van Gogh's The Crows. Michael Eng, he's a musician. A lot of them are really serene watercolors like that. But okay, so I think this is The Watchers, or it's a variation on The Watchers, and I'm sorry about the bad light. But and it's this repetitive sort of semi-1960s cubist theme he was doing that really to me is a parody of the CIA as it was working. That I think is a bridge in DC. This one was for Julian Assange because I realized, what are we but humans looking for seashells and currencies and values? And seashells used to be money, but now maybe integrity might be more like money. And when you can uncover like how things, bank trauma, you've just destabilized a currency. And then this one I wanted to go to my friend Barry Goldberg, the music producer down in Los Angeles. I wanted to very badly, and yet when I walked into Finer Stevens' Innocent, the color scheme of the way they had the walls really, really belonged to this. It's oil, I believe. It's so nice. And all of this, I mean, it stands, wow, that's actually paper. Like it stands, really stands to get a lot of water damage if it's not preserved, and I thought that's why giving it to Mark Stevens would be nice, because he's London Contemporary Art Society and he probably can find some people to treat it properly and frame it properly. And then that one, I was thinking that one could go to like Kevin Zeese or Bruce Fine for their work with disbar torture lawyers. And that one is obviously, this one actually belongs to Britta Sundberg-Weitman for her work with the Julian Assange defense, and it just reminds me of her personality, so beautiful and elegant and lovely, pink and gray. Wow, I forget who. And that one, I like that one as well. I think so basically this one is The Watchers in beige, and then this one is The Watchers in green. And that was a sort of a CIA parody of what was going on, almost like a Chagall-esque stained glass from a 1960s bureaucratic perspective. So That's how I would allocate it. And I know it's kind of hard to convey art when you're in prison, so maybe somebody can hang on to the seashell for Julian. I think that bridge was the one I thought Jennifer Robinson should have, but I really like this one as well. I find it really therapeutic. The bridge. Because she is the bridge. She's the bridge to the future, where women are both respected and not criminally sexist themselves. So she's seeing the picture regarding human trafficking in WikiLeaks representing Julian Assange against this libelous defamation case. And she's paving the way for a future where women can have heroes. And that, I don't know who would want that. Venice, but the idea was to gift them out to people, and then they can kind of curate them and archive them themselves and do whatever they want with them. They could burn them, literally. And there's so many lovely things. I don't know. Because they're just merely watercolors. But when you look at all the kind of junk that gets into art galleries these days, they aren't really that bad. And some of them are in his very later years. They're like doodles, kind of. Or like, look, this one's even a double-faced one, because he's being utilitarian about his materials. So I just thought I'd share that with you.